Good morning, happy Thursday, and welcome to the latest Hem Productions podcast. Can you believe this is episode 9? I enjoy recording this little thing every week, and I'm going to continue enjoying it in the next weeks to come, years to come. My whole life summed up each week by the movies I've watched. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't it wonderful to be here today? No, I am not having a nervous breakdown. That is Die My Love, the new Jennifer Lawrence Robert Pattinson movie, directed by Lynn Ramsey, which we will talk about today. We're also going to be talking about Bugonia, the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie with Emma Stone. What else? So we got a few movies coming out this week. We got Edgar Wright's latest movie, The Running Man. It's got pretty good reviews based off of the Stephen King novel. I'm planning on watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger original back-to-back with The Running Man, starring Glenn Powell, who I think is a big hottie and a pretty good up-and-coming movie star, so looking forward to watching that. I still haven't seen Train Dreams, unfortunately. I will watch it before it goes to Netflix. I just don't want to see it on Netflix compression. Looks like a beautiful movie. Haven't dreamt on the train yet. But I have died my love, and I have been trapped in a basement with my hair cut off. So, we will discuss those two movies. We're going to skip the news this week, get right to the box office, and then discuss those movies. So, Box Office Mojo was down last week, as it sometimes is. But we've got a pretty interesting box office that remained largely the same for both weeks. I'll quickly sum up last week's first. The top two remain the exact same, with Chainsaw Man at number 1 and Deliver Me From Nowhere at number 2. Still plan on seeing Chainsaw Man if I can. I kind of want to watch the anime beforehand. It's only like 10 episodes. Maybe I'll do it. Good Fortune, which was new last week, debuted at number 4 with Bugonia right behind it at 5. The other new movie at number 7, A Paw Patrol Christmas, which I've heard Best Picture rumblings about. So that's last week. This week's a little more interesting. Number 1 is Back to the Future. No, not a reboot that you've not heard about. The original Back to the Future for its 40th anniversary is number 1 at the Australian box office. Kind of tells you what place we are in the film culture currently. Number 2 is Springsteen, which legged up Chainsaw Man at number 3. Black Phone 2 still sticking it out at number 4. Number 5, we got Bugonia. And number 6, Good Fortune. Number 7, a new film, Predator Badlands, which I completely forgot about coming out. Maybe I'll see that as well, and we can do a action movie episode next week, considering this week is more of a mentally ill episode. Number 8 is One Battle After Another, still hanging out in the top 10, which is kind of wild for a movie about a modern American revolutionary. Number 9 is The Bad Guys 2, and number 10 is Roofman. And down at number 12 is my favorite film of the week, Die My Love. So let's just get straight into this. So, Die My Love. I was really looking forward to this one, not just because I love movies about mental illness and love seeing movies explore the female experience through a lens we don't normally get to see, this one being postnatal depression. Can't think of another movie I've ever watched that focuses on postnatal depression, despite it being something that, the majority of the population, well, not the majority, but a vast amount go through. Jennifer Lawrence stars in this film, and she won the Academy Award for Best Actress for playing a mentally ill character in The Silver Linings Playbook, a brilliant performance in an okay movie, which shows Lawrence can depict eternal struggle through subtle looks, humor, and trademark Lawrenceisms, sticking her tongue out, giving little looks here and there. She's got an iconic face for a reason. Die My Love is no different in terms of the performance. It's a movie about postnatal depression spiraling out of control. The movie goes off the rails more and more and veers into directions you don't see coming. It's a controlled chaos similar to the damaged psyche of its lead. It expertly explores a painful topic that, like I said, I can't name another movie that tackles this as well. Lynn Ramsey directed this film, and she hasn't made a whole ton of movies, about 5 or 6, I'm pretty sure, but every one that I've seen sheds a light on marginalized people feeling themselves squished in these margins, whether it be by classism, whether it be by situation. It's all about people very uncomfortable with where they are. Ratcatcher, about a little boy in a rotten Glasgow during a rubbish strike. You will never really hear a war veteran beating the pulp out of people. These subjects tend to be these kind of painful, quiet people, and this movie's no different. We've got a mother in a rural area. It seems like lower stakes for Lynn Ramsey, but it never feels lower stakes. The movie opens with these images of fire and passion, and the movie really veers into directions jerkingly at random, and it really depicts the psyche of the character quite well. Lawrence has the camera in her hands, and so does Robert Pattinson, who's playing a complete dirtbag, which I never thought a movie could make me hate Robert Pattinson, but for a while I definitely felt that for him. The movie's a tapestry of small windows into this couple, the moments and breaking points that lead to someone being institutionalized, that lead to bigger fights, that lead to problems that persist over years and years, and ultimately the cycles of trauma and whatnot. We have the parents-in-law of Lawrence with Sissy Spacek playing the mother and Nick Nolte playing the dad. Smaller performances from both actors, but so impactful. Seeing Sissy Spacek as this mother, holding a gun, like protecting her home, and seeing that comparison to Lawrence, who's right in the middle of the motherhood versus the aged mother, and some of their conversations are the highlights of the movie for me. It's a crazy acting showpiece, this film. If you're feeling like spiraling out of control, constantly living on the edge and struggling to keep your head above water, if you ever feel this, then this movie depicts that. It's a complete spiral of madness, sadness, and chaos that leaves you breathless by the end. I don't have much to say about the film other than it touched me beyond anything I've watched this year. It's a very emotional return to form for both Lawrence and Lynn Ramsey. They both prove they can do no wrong when shedding light on the female experience that is commonly swept under the rug. I hope Lawrence gets some awards nods for this performance. It's very good, and I really enjoyed the movie. I don't have much more to say on it, to be honest. I really just found it quite captivating. It's a horror movie about real life and about being a woman. Heavy stuff. Anyway, I'd probably give it about 4 out of 5. I've been back and forth on the ratings lately, whether I want to keep doing them or not, because my opinions change so much, but for this movie, it's pretty locked in. I think I'll go see it a second time, and maybe I might even like it a little more. Actually, forget the rating for now. Maybe I'll update you, maybe I won't. And that's the same for Bugonia, which is... One sec. Time for a sip of coffee. I'm not going to cut that out. Bugonia, a paranoid thriller about bees. Respect the queen, keep in line, and everything will be okay. Until the queen is kidnapped for being a suspected alien. Now, I want to keep most of this movie under wraps. It's an exciting thriller, constantly having you go back and forth on what you think is going to happen, whether Emma Stone is an alien or not. And despite taking place mostly in the basement of an incel's country home, it is lavishly designed, bringing the whimsy of Poor Things to the most banal of locations. Yorgos Lanthimos got so much attention for Poor Things, but this is a step back to his older sensibilities. It's more grounded, it is grittier, it's closer to Dogtooth than anything you'd find in Poor Things, but ultimately I think it's brilliant. I think it has more value as a text, I think it has more depth, and ultimately more interesting. When I first saw the movie, I was thinking the whole time, oh, this isn't as exciting as Poor Things. I'm not blown away constantly, but this movie borrowed a special place in my mind, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. All the performances of Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone, they're engaged in debates of the century, the girl boss CEO and the Redditor. It's much smaller scale, but it is a very biting critique of classism, the cogs in the machine, and the people who keep the rich rich. It's just a very prescient film. You'd put it up there with One Battle, but particularly Eddington in terms of poking the wound. You can put any metaphor of current events over the top of this, and it works. You could say Jesse Plemons is Antifa. You could say he's a January 6er. You could say many things. He's just an incel, you know? You can swap whatever sort of theme you're playing with. It's all there. It's a Swiss watch style movie. It's just brilliantly timed and executed. As always with Stone and Plemons, and our new actor I haven't seen before, Aidan Delbus, who plays his autistic cousin. He's an autistic actor himself, and I thought he was freaking brilliant. He has this comical swap between incredibly dark moments and light-hearted questions. He really made the film a highlight. This movie is sickly funny because you're just watching these two very sad, deranged people doing something very sad and deranged for about 2 hours or so. And some of the scenes with Emma Stone are just unbelievable. It's mostly a series of intense conversations, torture, and dark comedy. I found every moment and each evolution from start to finish exciting. It kept changing, kept going in different directions than I thought it would. It's a smaller movie than I ultimately thought it was, but it's trying to say a lot more than Poor Things. I feel a lot more from this movie, and I'm surprised to say I like it even more. It's a scary little unknown mystery box thriller. Kind of like Panic Room if you kind of, I don't know, tortured it during its childhood. It's a classic Yorgos, and I'm very happy we've got this kind of movie again. This type of mystery horror thriller couldn't have been made by anyone else, and I think Yorgos and Stone are the art house duo that can create box office attention. I can't wait to see what he makes next, and this is the first movie on the podcast I've covered that I would really love to discuss with someone else. And that brings me to talking a bit about Hem Productions. So, 4 out of 5 for Bugonia, maybe. I think I'll give this one another watch too. Anyway, so I want to start doing some more podcasts here. I'm enjoying doing this weekly one by myself, but I want an opportunity to have a dialogue with people. And I've invested in some equipment that can make remote recording a lot easier. So I think this whole podcast network is starting to take shape a little bit more. Looking forward to what comes out of that. But that'll be it for the Hem Productions podcast this week. I told you it'd be a short one. Next week, I should have a couple more new releases to talk about, maybe some more news, hopefully less dire than last week. Skip the news this week because simply there wasn't much to talk about that I was interested in, and I'm not going to force myself to talk on boring subjects. Thanks Xbox for the notification, and just like my coffee sip, I'm not going to fix that. Thanks for joining me today on the Hem Productions podcast, and have a great week.